Boy, am I sad that nursing school's over. But now at least I can focus on my dream of becoming a public health nurse. What was it that my nursing instructor told me about the public health nursing?
Okay, class, settle down. Now, public health nursing is defined as a specialty field of nursing where not only individuals are your focus, but families, communities, and populations as well. Now, don't get too overwhelmed. Often a public health nurse focuses on one area, but in any setting, the role of public health nurses focuses on the prevention of disease, illness of injury, promotion of health, and maintenance of health of populations. You might be thinking that nursing is all about curing people, but with the work of public health nurses, much harm can be prevented. They can do this through educating, creating programs, developing policies, creating awareness, and helping people voice health concerns to health planners and policymakers who might have authority over communities. You may also hear public health nursing being called community health nursing. Public health nursing is about being an advocate for people and helping people be advocates for themselves.
Man, this sure was a great class. I wonder where the public health nursing got its start. Maybe the internet can shed some light on this topic.
Hello, and thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be discussing the history of public health nursing. Believe it or not, public health began in ancient times. Public health can be seen throughout history, from quarantining those with leprosy to improving sanitary conditions for the prevention of infectious diseases. In Great Britain in the early 1860s, nurses were appointed as visiting nurses called district nurses who cared for the poor in their homes, except for those with infectious diseases. America replicated the visiting nurses in 1877 through the New York City Mission. In 1893, due to first-hand experiences with the lack of care for poor immigrants, Lillian Wald, along with Mary Brewster, founded the Henry Street Settlement House in New York. They joined visiting and district nursing to encompass public health nursing, the term coined by Lillian Wald. To wrap it up, we turn to Ella Phillips Crandall, RN, who said, "Finally, let me remind you, my friends, that as in this brief sketch, so throughout the history of public health nursing, though it's ran the gamut of health visitor, health teacher, social worker, and even health inspector, it has its foundation, first, last, and always in nursing." I hope you've enjoyed the history of public health nursing. Come visit us again soon.
Wow, there sure is a lot to learn about public health nursing. I can't believe I've been sitting here for 8 hours. I'm so tired.
Welcome back. We are now down to our final two contestants. What question would you like to ask your remaining two potential dates?
My question is, what do you do for a living?
Date number 2.
I'm a bikini model.
I like it.
Date number 4.
I'm so glad you asked this question. My job has many roles and purposes. I focus on the prevention of illness, injury, or disability. I also promote health, and I maintain the health of populations. I provide input to interdisciplinary programs that monitor, anticipate, and respond to public health problems in populations, regardless of the disease or threat identified. I also evaluate different health trends and certain risk factors of population groups and determine what is a priority in intervention of these health trends. An example can be a high population group that smokes or is obese. I then work with these communities or groups to help them develop public policies and target certain health promotions or disease prevention activities. I also want to make sure that the population is informed of services available to help them with their health. And I do this by assessing and evaluating healthcare services. I want to enable people to take control of and improve their own health. I can work in county or state departments of health, public health departments, correctional facilities, occupational health facilities, businesses, schools, and in the community. Specific examples are a school nurse, American Red Cross nurse, or a nurse officer in the Commissioned Corps of the U.S. Public Health Service. To sum it up, I am the guardian of the public health. I am a public health nurse.
Awesome. I'm really interested in the public health nurse. I think she's the gal for me.
Congratulations! Well, that concludes our show. Please tune in for next week's episode of The Dating Game.
What a dream. Now I'm even more excited to become a public health nurse. Oh, great. Favorite TV show's on right now.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. In today's meeting, we will be discussing public health nursing. Public health can be measured from the small populations in rural communities to humanity on the largest scale, worldwide. The World Health Organization is responsible for monitoring worldwide health situations and assessing world health trends. Being able to capture and consolidate a potential public risk is imperative to humanity's survival. The nurses who work with the World Health Organization and the Centers for Disease and Control help to prevent the spread of disease, promote health, and prolong life amongst the populations as a whole. Nurses at the CDC use their clinical expertise to advance and shape public health. Because nurses are so diverse and flexible, they can do a multitude of jobs in public health service industry. Nurses and other team members have helped countries like Kenya and Madagascar provide clean water to their communities, and teams in Haiti have helped improve access to emergency obstetric care. May the odds be ever in your favor.
This just in. The WHO has declared a global community health crisis. The standards they set in place for crisis management will be implemented. The lab confirmed more than 2 cases of the new mutant flu. The WHO will notify the CDC. It is now considered a pandemic. The CDC will get involved as the disease has crossed state lines. The crisis at the state level will be handled by the Arizona Department of Health. The following information highlights some of the state responses during crisis: surveillance and epidemiology, laboratory diagnostics, healthcare coordination and surge capacity, vaccine antiviral drug distribution and use, community disease control and prevention, managing travel-related risk of transmission, public communication, and guidance for county and tribal health departments. Public healthcare nurses will be on hand to conduct disease surveillance and utilize their established community partnerships and communication channels to alleviate panic, ensure proper crisis management, and implementation of care. For more information, contact www.azdhs.gov. Now to you, Barb.
Yes, Sue, that's correct. And according to the American Public Health Association, it is a responsibility of public health nurses to translate knowledge from the health and social sciences to the population as a whole, to the family, and the individual. If you want to directly touch a patient every day, the public health is probably not for you. It also focuses a lot on healthcare reform, encouraging articulate and analytical nurses to understand the bigger picture. Some things for our interested viewers to think about: you might be needed in a panicked country that has either been hit by a natural disaster or the threat of an epidemic, like Sue talked about. And depending on where you are in the world, you might have difficulties accessing remote regions, you might not have the government support, there might be language barriers or not enough resources. After providing assistance, it is also our job to make sure the area or region is self-sufficient and not dependent on us being there for the continued support. You must become familiar with the local culture, specific health risks, and know your boundaries. That's all for now. Keep it healthy, Arizona.
Hello? Is this the public health department? Yes? Oh, okay, perfect. So I was looking for someone that I can interview for public health nursing right now. Awesome. I'll be there in a jiffy. Thanks. Hi, I just called about being a public health nurse.
Hi, I'm Colleen. Go ahead and have a seat.
Oh, thank you.
Health education is a primary focus of public health nurses. This is our WIC office, a food and nutrition service group for the community. It is just one of the many places public health nurses can work. Here we provide moms and kids with proper nutrition information and assistance. Other than WIC, there are many ways you can educate the community. As a public health nurse, we identify the needs of groups in the community and create interventional programs to improve the health for those groups. We educate the elderly on stroke signs and high school teens about safe sex and the dangers of STDs. We translate confusing and overwhelming information into ways the general public can understand. Preventing health disparities through health education is a primary focus of ours. We also provide free health screening events in the community, which include blood pressure checks and vaccination clinics.
Very cool. And actually, speaking of vaccines, there's someone I can talk to about the role of public health nursing in education.
Of course, right this way. Sounds perfect. I'll meet you at 7 for bingo. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm here for my vaccines.
Yeah, actually you came to the right place. I heard you wanted to hear a little bit more about public health nursing and vaccines.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Go ahead and sit down.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Well, you see, vaccines are a vital part in keeping the world healthy from diseases. Vaccines are composed of organisms or parts of organisms that is used to produce antibodies which induce immunity, making you no longer susceptible to that particular virus. Some vaccines you must get each and every year, like the flu vaccine, for example. It is encouraged that people should be sure to get the new strain of flu shot every year because influenza is a serious disease that can lead to hospitalization and sometimes even death. There are some situations that could serve as a barrier to having a whole population receive the vaccine, such as cultural or religious sensitivities. There are some vaccines, such as HPV vaccine, that are sensitive to some families who might be very religious. Since HPV is a sexually transmitted disease, it holds certain sensitivities that some other vaccines may not particularly have to deal with. Overall, vaccines are imperative at keeping global health diseases at a minimum.
Thanks for the tips. Hey, I just graduated as a nurse and I'm looking for a job for a public health nurse position.
Oh, sure, have a seat. I can help you with
Here's
that.
my resume.
Oh, thank you. First, let me tell you a little bit about your chosen career. As in all areas of nursing, there's an increasing demand for public health nurses, particularly in medically underserved and low-income communities. Many government agencies are recognizing the benefits of preventative health care and health education services provided by public health nurses to reduce overall healthcare costs. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, an expected growth of 26% between now and 2020 for registered nurses, a percentage well above the national average. Some of these reasons for the high demand include an aging population and increased need for home care. Salaries for public health nurses vary greatly depending on location, experience, and benefits. The average salary for a public health nurse in the United States is $51,000. However, salary expectations for future nurses range between $54,000 and $80,000. Although there are better paying nursing jobs, most public health nurses find the reward in their work rather than the pay.
Sweet, so when can I start?
Well, your resume looks fantastic. I think I have just the job for you.
Let's do it.
I wish that I could be like the cool kids.